It's not a wood turning video this time, it's more of an update. I think it's Thursday today. I had my mother up staying all the week, and I'm currently processing the rendering the video that's about to be uploaded in the next day or so, and this is sort of like a little interim video afterwards. What I've done today, and I've actually been out, dropped my daughter off for some horse riding this morning, and then I popped up the road to a wood mill, which is where they mainly produce things like fence posts and fencing and stuff like that, but they also sell firewood. So I thought, right, I'll pop in there because they sell it by the bag, and I thought, right, well, if you can choose your own stuff, brilliant. So here is what I've actually got. Basically, a whole bag here cost me £3. So they had a skip full, which I could actually basically rummage around and find what I wanted, and I'll just put these out of the way, and I've pulled a few nice pieces out. Now this one has actually got a crack right the way through there, but I'm actually thinking there that I can actually probably just chop that off and get 2 blanks out of that. Looks like there's some cracks running through the centre here, but I won't actually see properly until I probably get it on the lathe. Moisture wise, I mean, the top here, they're all oak as well, as far as I'm aware. Obviously, if anybody comes up with anything different, certainly let me know. But the top there, 6-7%, and the sides, I mean, that's 6% as well, and probably the ends where it's probably been more exposed, up to 14%. So now they do also have another area there. So I mean, I've just basically picked different items. I honestly don't know what that is. Is that still oak? It doesn't look like it. If it is, to me it looks a bit like silver birch. But I'm told that they're all supposed to be hardwoods. And I've basically got quite a large selection. Now they do have another area there where basically they've got stuff which comes fresh off the mill, but because they're working there today, I couldn't actually get to anything. But I mean, I can call back there on a Saturday and have a bigger choice of what I want. So in fact, I actually got a lot more here than I thought. I'll stick this on the floor so I can actually get everything out. So basically all of that lot cost me £3. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, there's about 12 pieces there in all, £3, and that's probably not the best of what I can get. So other reason for an update, what I want to do as well is I'll probably give a little bit of a workshop tour. I'm not sure how wide the camera is showing, but I mean, you can see the fridge on the side there, which my kids bought me for Father's Day. Yeah, it's just for cokes, it's about all I drink. I've got my tools in the back there, various tools. This week I also bought another couple of sets of jaws for the chuck. The C-type jaws I found are a little bit restrictive for doing any smaller items. So I actually went for the, I don't know what they are, D&E or something like that, but a lot smaller jaw. And the other ones are even smaller as well. And I've gone for the same style of jaws as well, so that it's not really gripper jaws. Well, they are, but not to the extent where they'll put marks all over the whole wood. Slowly been putting bits and pieces up for holding things like the face plate. When I take my actual chuck off, I can put that on the side there as well. Put a shelf up as well to try and clear the bench a bit, so I've got me Forstner bits, and live centres and things like that as well. Have my sandpaper up on there. Also bought a couple of rolls of 600 grit sandpaper as well, so I've never actually got anything because I didn't have anything above 400. Also put a shelf up the top here for things like all my finishers, because they all used to sit under the bench where the camera is currently on. And I mean, on here is just really just a load of rubbish, to be honest, at the moment, just stuff I haven't put away. Got my vac, sorry, that's the tester just switching itself off. The vac down the side there, so it's nice and handy, and I do actually have a hole, which if I clear these a bit, do have a hole in the bench where I can actually put the vac up, and I usually just put an end on the top there to direction the feed, and also have an additional piece that I've created there for sanding. Now what I do, I will just spin the camera around in a moment or tip it up. What I've also done the last couple of days as well, I mean, I've got this lamp which I had for something else, went to use it for the first time, and I think it's blown a fuse. Basically I was trying to do a bit of hollow and form, tipped it over and it blew the fuse, so there's obviously some dodgy wiring in there. But what I did do this week is also make up an additional lamp. It's actually got a tilting head, and I've done it so that there's, I think it's about 1.5 or 2 metre lead, so that basically I can move that around. So they are bright, so I can move it around where I want it, and basically point it up to the work, or being on a box can soon on something a bit higher. Now that also brings me to the other thing. When my last video does get uploaded, when I was working on it, I did notice that there's a lot of it which is burnt out. Basically what I've also done, I've also put in a couple more additional lights, which is what's caused the overexposure. That's probably doing it to me now. So, and they are the white light, I think it's 7-watt LEDs. I put a couple of wall lights on, and basically because they are so bright, I've actually just created a little cover on that one so you don't get blinded when you're working on the lathe. And there's also another one up on the ceiling. So this is the other side of the workshop. So I've actually put a lot of my clamps all up on the wall there. I've got some measures, my saw. The shelf is also new as well. Basically everything that was on there was just shoved here under the bench. As you can probably imagine, it was a bit of a nightmare. So I've got my heat gun up there, my rotary tool, other bits and pieces, and then I bought some gripper mat this week. My bottles that I was using for the French polish that I was making up the shellac. I've got an angle finder, a compass, soldering iron, 1 or 2 empty boxes, my face masks, and there's obviously my main fuse board. And what I've done there as well, I've actually cut the shelf out so that I could open the front cover if I needed to, just remove the one box. Bench, me Axminster hobby grinder. Wasn't overly impressed with it to start with, was having a bit of a problem with it, but certainly after watching 1 or 2 videos got a lot better and happier with it now, so certainly been happy sharpening my tools. Just bought this week. I forget the name of the chap now. I think it's Mick somebody off eBay. He's retired and he makes these up. And obviously got the main one for sharpening the chisels. I will say, absolutely brilliant. Saved an absolute fortune. I've still got to mount this one on this side on there. So really impressed with that. Haven't actually used the flat plate yet, so I will do before long. Now this is all bolted down onto the bench, and the good thing is though, if I really do need to clear some bench space to work on something a bit bigger, which I have done in the past, I've just got 1 screw on the back there, a couple of screws on the front here, and I can lift the whole lot off. So it's something quick and easy like that. We saw used an awful lot. I'm waiting for Axminster to get in stock with their hobby bandsaws again, and that will probably may well possibly go on there in the end. Also under here I've got my bench planer toolbox, which has really got nothing in it, screws, and just another box for my odds and ends. So I think I've got odd bits of saws and stuff like that in there. So this side of the workshop tends to be sort of like where the mess is. The table I made up there to put my bench planer on, sometimes used as a seat. That may well also be used for the bench bandsaw. if I can find a home to put the bandsaw when it's not in use. But this side, like I say, just tends to be really where really a lot of the rubbish gets thrown. I mean, all this is just offcuts from the boarding that was made outside. I mean, I bought a pack of that for door shelving, got a workmate in here. My other one must be in my other shed. Odds and sods pieces of scraps, the rubbish down here, all my other odd pieces of wood that I use. And what I did pick up the other day, again, I believe that may well be silver birch. Again, if somebody can comment on that, might not be no use whatsoever. We went out for a walk around the local tarn, and I just picked that up on the way. So again, something to have a go at. So that's probably basically about it. So like I say, if people do always inquire where do you get your woods and stuff like that from, especially if you're new like me, and yeah, find your local mill. They're bound to have offcuts and stuff like that. The first one I contacted, I mean, they did sell firewood, but I think they got it in from a different mill, and they basically was already split up, so it's really sort of straight there to go on the fireplace straight away. But this one, I mean, I'm really impressed with a lot of these pieces. And like I say, I mean, they're not the best pieces that I've probably can get so far. I mean, that one looks absolutely solid, and for a piece of oak, which basically, I mean, that cost me the equivalent of probably, I suppose, 50 pence or something like that. Not even that, probably less than 50 pence. Where can you go wrong? It's always worth a try. And I've got to say, we're watching people like Uvel and stuff like that, is that you can make something out of every piece of wood that's available there. Obviously, as long as it's not totally disintegrating, unsafe and stuff like that. So, like I say, if you're new, I do put up regular videos. This is sort of like probably a one-off, doing an update, just quick show around the workshop type thing. Just highlighting what I bought with the wood for my existing subscribers. Thank you very much. I would appreciate if everybody could hit the like button, hit the share, and certainly do leave comments. I mean, if you think any of this stuff is not oak, which I bought, I was told it was oak. I'm no expert in the woods yet. Certainly do please leave some comments. So hopefully this video is not going to be too long, and I will see you all again soon. So thanks a lot. Bye.